Happy autumn, happy fall. This is my favorite time of the year. I've always loved the start of the new school year. And when I see the kids waiting at the school bus or walking to school nowadays, I always think back to getting organized for school, which I loved. I loved arranging my pencil case and labeling all my notebooks and folders. And we used to cover our textbooks with brown wrapping paper. I don't know if you did that. And then I'd color flowers all over them. I thought that was so fun to do. And I still love my books. Hi, my name is Pam Lamp. I write a blog called Who I Met Today, where I interview people who do things that I want to learn more about and share. It could be a fortune cookie maker or a speech pathologist who explains the intricacies of baby sign or whatever I'm interested in that moment. I'd love you to follow along. Information's at the bottom of this article. I send out a newsletter every 2 weeks. The other thing that I really enjoy doing is writing a monthly post for 60andMe with book recommendations. Reading is my passion, and I think I have some good ones for you today. I'd love to know if you've read any of these, and I'd like you to comment at the bottom and let me know what you thought. The first one, the pictures in the caption photo, is called A Woman Is No Man, and I hope I'm saying her name correctly, Etaf Room. What a good book. I just loved it. A dermatologist that I had recommended about, or that I had interviewed about Botox, recommended this book to me. And a few weeks ago, when with all the turmoil and heartache in Afghanistan, I remembered that I had it and I pulled it out and read it. The author lives in Brooklyn. She grew up with Palestinian immigrant parents. And unbelievably, although the book is fiction, a lot of the information in it is based on her own life. At 19, even living in America, she was involved in an arranged marriage. There was no love, and grew up with the constant refrain from her mother that a woman is no man. I think that this book gave me a deeper understanding of Arab culture and the belief, the sometimes belief that an uneducated woman is best because then she doesn't want to better herself. So the author did a great job of weaving together her story and 3 generations of Palestinians, and it's one of my favorites from the last several months. The next book that I have is called The Royal Correspondent by Australian author Alexandra Joel. I was lucky enough to get an advance copy of this. It just came out recently, and I really enjoyed it, especially since a good dose of the royal family was thrown in. And if you've heard me before, you know how I always enjoy that. It's based in 1960s Sydney, Australia, where women were supposed to find a husband, get married, stay at home, take care of their house and kids. But Blaze Hill wanted nothing of that. She wanted to be a journalist. She landed a job in a newspaper office in Sydney with an office full of cocky, blustery, doubtful men. She was the only woman, and eventually gets an assignment in London to cover the comings and goings of the royal family. So I thought that was a fun read, and hope that you would enjoy it too. The next one I have a picture of. I read on my Kindle or my iPad. This one is by Stephen Rowley. He wrote Lily and the Octopus. I have not read that. Maybe some of you have. Called The Editor. And this book, interestingly enough, I've noticed has different covers. Sometimes I log on and there's this cover, and sometimes I log on and it's a completely different cover. But anyway, James, the character in the book, is a struggling writer. He finally sells his story to a New York City publishing house and acquires an editor as part of the package who is the most famous editor in New York City. It's Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. I don't know if you knew, but in real life, she was an editor for quite some time in New York. So it's fiction, but it was interesting to see the author process and how that works, and how it might have been to have Jackie O as your editor. I will warn you that in the early stages, very early stages of the book, like the first 3 short chapters, I wasn't sure about it. But I kept going, and oh, I'm so glad I did. The rights have been sold for a movie, and I think it's going to be a fun one. Next up is Committed by Adam Stern. This is a nonfiction pick, and I confess I have not read it yet. My son is getting married, finally, after postponements and all kinds of issues, next weekend, and I'm a little bit behind. But I had interviewed a woman who reviews books for a living, and she had told me about this one, and I totally trust her opinion. Cindy said that this was a fascinating tale of the life of a medical resident. The gentleman, Adam, is currently a psychiatrist and teaches at the Harvard Medical School. And the book is about his 4-year residency at Harvard. He came from a smaller, lesser known medical school, and most of his fellow residents were from Ivy League and fancy schools, and he really didn't feel like he fit in. So Cindy said part of the tale is about that. The other part gives you a glimpse into the grueling life of a resident and the human connections and just what it involves. So I can't wait to read it. It's in my stack, and I will get to that after the wedding. The last one I have for you is called The Summer Wives by Beatrice Williams. And Summer Wives, but it's just ended summer, so I don't feel so bad recommending it. Beatrice Williams is often referred to as the queen of historical fiction. I've read one other of her books that I reviewed last year called Her Last Flight, and I just loved it. So I'm willing to give whatever she writes a try, and I liked this one too. I dug into some of the backstory, how she wrote this book. She went to Fisher's Island, which is kind of an exclusive enclave off Long Island, with her fiance's family or her husband's family or her boyfriend's family. Same man, but not sure at what point it was in her life. But anyway, when she was there, she was thinking about the striking difference between the year-round workers on the island and the wealthy, privileged people that summered there. And these people, one group needed the other group to coexist, but they never interacted or mingled with one another. So she did what she does best. She came home and she kind of picked everything apart and changed things around and wrote a novel about it. It's not about Fisher's Island, it's fictitious Winthrop Island, but it's a fun read, and that one is being developed into a TV series, so that should be fun. So I hope that you'll find one of these books that might be of interest to you. I will say that I already have a great book I can't wait to recommend next month. It's something so different than what I usually read. It's nonfiction, but it's entertaining. It's so interesting and unlike anything that I've read before, and I can't wait to share it with you. In the meantime, I hope you'll subscribe to my blog and come along and join the fun and share stories and books and food and places and things. So happy reading and enjoy the beautiful weather wherever you might be, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.